Okay, so you guys are about to start something that's really exciting. You're gonna start with at least 4 holes at Silver Cloud, and you might expand upon that program, all depending upon um, the results that you get, I guess, and what you're seeing. So, can you tell us about these 4 holes and what you're targeting?
Sure. In fact, I think the best way to do that might be to look at our geologic model here. So let's just switch gears a little bit. And hopefully you can see that now. So this is a plan map of the Silver Cloud mine area. That's the area we were just looking at. And what we're looking at is the surface geology. So the yellow is the recent alluvial or dirt. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start to peel off some of these layers here. So we'll get rid of this recent layer. So that's the dirt. The next layer down is what we call the upper tuff. This is a tufaceous unit that sits on top of the rhyolite. It so far has been unmineralized and not of too much importance. So we'll peel that layer off. Under that, we have this pink unit, which is a rhyolite. This is really important because all of the drill intercepts to date have been in this rhyolite unit. And I find that to be important because at the Midas mine, the mineralization is within the rhyolite, and the veins are much thicker than what you see at Hollister. So we have some pretty good grades with that 158 gram material. What I like to say is, we're looking for grades of Hollister and vein widths of Midas. And I think this being in this rhyolite is very important to us. Okay, under the rhyolite is this blue unit, which we call the lower tuff. And you can start to see the veins when we peel away the rhyolite. And the other kind of important features in this view are the veins, this green thing here, which is a porphyry, this orange thing here, which is a porphyry dike, and this gray unit, which is the basement. And at Hollister, all of the veins are in this basement rock, which is called the upper plate rock. What we see here is we've been able to put together, based on drilling, a main vein. This is the main Silver Cloud vein. Potentially 3 hanging wall splays and 1 footwall splay. And all those are based on going back through the drill logs, looking at them in detail, and then looking at the assay results. These little discs you see on the drill holes, those discs are above 2 grams. So blue is 2 grams. Obviously, when we get to the red colors or the orangey colors, those are going to be above 10 grams. And we see some of those here in the tech area and at the Placer Dome area. Okay, let me just put all these units back on, and we'll just cut a section through the units here. So we'll make a slice, a north-south slice, and I can just clean up a few things here. And we'll make our slices 25 meters thick. Okay, so let's view this in some detail. Okay, so just a refresher, the yellow is our dirt, alluvium. This is the upper tuff. This is the rhyolite. This is the basement. You can see on the very east end, we don't really see that lower tuff unit. And we have the rhyolite sitting right on the basement. One of the things, as I mentioned, I was able to do was go back through the drilling and look at it in detail. And one of the things that I saw in both the Tech and the Placer Dome intercepts is that they line up around the same elevation, which is roughly the 1,500 meter RL. If you go and you look at the Midas mine and the Hollister mine, what you'll see is those high-grade zones sit also around the 1,500 meter RL. So I thought that was pretty significant. And the other thing is, when you rotate the model in space, you can get those 2 intercepts that are roughly 2 kilometers apart to line up on an east-west direction. And so This main vein that we call it, this is the main silver cloud vein. It runs about azimuth 280. And you can make, like I said, it's like a gun sight looking through all the intercepts back between the Tech and the placer area. There's a little less data to make up the footwall, and even less data to make up what I call hanging wall 2 and hanging wall 3. But you know, they're my best guess at this point in time. Okay, so if we start to work our way through the model, we're actually looking to the west, and we're going to move into the model. As you can see, this is this orange piece here. This is a north-northwest oriented dike. It's moving across to the northwest, and as it does that, somehow it's fundamentally that structure that dike is along is fundamentally controlling the basement structure. And you can see this blue unit down here start to open up. I think that's fairly significant for the mineralization here. Okay, so that lower unit starts to thicken up. We also see this basement unit kind of rising up to the west, or sorry, to the east. Okay, so let's just zoom in here. These are the Tech holes here, and you can see this red disc here. That's 158 grams. We'll just zoom into that, and you can see it's right near that dike. So I think that dike is fairly significant, and you can see there's some other hits that make up that main vein, and here's the first hanging wall spool.
So can you tell us a little bit about the timeline for this program? So when's the first hole going to start, and about how long is it going to take to do each hole, and then how long until we'll get some you know, assays back?
Right. Okay, well, we're waiting on the drill rig. It's actually coming from the Hollister mine, and right now the schedule is for it to show up either on September 30th or October 1st. So we're getting pretty close to that. Supplies are getting delivered to the site, you know, mud supplies and the things we'll need to drill, as well as all the sites have been built. So we're ready to go. We're just waiting on that drill. The drill, it should take about 20 days per hole. We're starting coring from the surface. The holes are roughly 500 meters on an angle. And we'll look at some of those holes here. Let's just turn these on. And we'll go back to that intercept with Tech. This is our first hole, and you can see it's coming back towards that intercept through the porphyry dike and hitting that intercept in the rhyolites. So we're quite excited by that. As soon as we finish that one, the pattern is really to step off and drill kind of fans of holes along the strike length of the vein. So the first hole will be here back towards the Tech area. The second hole will be farther to the west, roughly 2 kilometers, and it will go back towards that placer dome intercept. And I'll just work my way through that, and we'll have a look at that. One of the things you can see in the model is you can see this lower tough unit getting thicker and the rhyolite getting a bit thinner. You can see some of the holes that will be drilled in between. This is a thing I think is quite important in the model, and that is this porphyry intrusive. Where we see the thickest mineralization is lapped up right against the intrusive in the main vein, and that's where placer dome had drilled, and we'll see that in just a second here. So this is the placer dome intercept. It's quite interesting because there were 2 hits over 10 grams in here, and you can see that porphyry is sitting right on the footwall side of that vein. Here's our second hole coming back towards that, and it's going to explore the porphyry and this footwall vein as well.
Isn't 10 grams that's pretty high grade for a porphyry hit, isn't it?
Well, I believe it's this vein sitting right on the edge of the vein.
Okay, that makes sense.
And kind of the disseminated component of it was associated with the porphyry.
Were there
so that's that 12 grams of 12 meters of 5.5 grams.
Were there any historical drill data like into that porphyry system?
No, all of this is new, and it's all based on the placer dome drilling. So there's about 4 holes that intersected the porphyry out here. One of the things I kind of like about this area over here is you can see how the rhyolite is sort of domed in this region. I think that could be significant as well.
It's domed.
Okay, and then we're going to run out a model basically. So if we go back and look at the plan view again, our first hole over here on the tech side, our second hole over here on the placer dome side. These are fans again. So let's see if I can just get them to come out a little better so we can actually see them. You can see the fan nature of these holes. So as we drill these off, there'll be a series of fan. There's enough permitted here for about 10,000, maybe 12,000 meters of drilling. But our first 2 holes, as I said, 2 here and 2 here.
And so the three targets in the middle will be coming down in the future, hopefully.
That is, if we're successful, then we'll start drilling that vein out in an east-west direction, and we'll target that 1,500 meter RL along
what's your drilling cost going to be, Bill?
Direct drilling will be about $300 per meter.
And you wanted
pouring again from the surface.
And you're going to do 2,000 meters?
We're going to do 2,000 meters. That's right.
And how much money do you have in the bank right now?
Well over $1 million Canadian. So this program will cost about 700,000 US.
Okay.
And they've got some, warrants that are in the money right now that could also come in over the coming months.
Right.
When do they expire?
Oh, they're 2 or 3 years out for expiring. So,
but they have some things where they could be, forced, right?
Yeah.
That's right. There's, I believe, I don't have that information available to me right this minute, but yeah, there's, I believe there's a kind of a trigger on those if stock price stays over a certain level.
So you're going to drill.
If we're successful here and the stock reacts, we should be able to self-fund the remainder of the drilling.
Exactly. So you're going to drill 4 holes from 2 pad locations. Probably you'll be done by the end of October with those 4 holes.
Each hole will take about 20 days.
Oh, okay.
All right. So core. I use 20 days as kind of I'm sure we're going to have some drilling problems. So it'll be 20, 24-hour days, 2 shifts a day. And if we get done sooner, that's better for us. But yeah, then we'll, as soon as we see some vein material or whatever, we'll expedite those assays through the lab.
So this program could actually take until the end of the year.
Potentially. I think it'll be done by, say mid-December at the latest.